The ancient wonders of Egypt and Jordan have attracted travellers from all around the world for many generations. And so, for the next month, I'm going to be backpacking around these two countries by myself. It's just incredible to finally be here. This is a place you sort of dream about going when you're a kid, and right now I'm here. Now, lots of people when they travel around Egypt and Jordan do it on an organised tour, and I've done tours before and they've been fantastic, but what I wanted to do for this trip was take a country that people typically do on a tour and see what it was like travelling around by myself and just organising everything along the way. So rather than having a predetermined itinerary with everything sorted for me, the only thing I'm going to book in advance is my flight and my first hostel in Cairo. Then everything else I'm just going to sort out as I go. And I've got a rough sketch of a plan of what I'm going to do. I'm going to see the main places along the Nile, such as Cairo, Aswan and Luxor. Then I'm going to have about a week at the Red Sea to go snorkeling and scuba diving. And then after that I'll fly into Jordan and have about 10 days traveling around there. Welcome to Wadi Rum, and that's where I'm staying for the next 3 nights. Now, one of the ways I could do this trip is couchsurfing, like my good friends Nick and Amy who run the What the Fro Travel podcast. They recently travelled around Egypt and Jordan, had tons of fun through the couchsurfing experience. This is a workout! But what my plan is I'm going to treat this as if it's a normal backpacking trip, as if I was going around like Southeast Asia or South America or something, and just show up with a sketch of a plan, stay in hostels, and just see how easy it is to travel around by myself and book things as I go. Just made it. That's everything from accommodation to transport, tours to activities, the lot. Armin's booked the boat for me. He's booked me on a 2-day cruise on the Nile, but I literally have no idea what kind of boat I'm on. I don't know if it's like a felucca, cruise ship, or if I'm just going to be paddling up the Nile.
Hello.
Now I should stress, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm the first person to solo backpack around these countries. Far from it, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm some sort of pioneer or some shit like that. I'm just saying that these countries aren't necessarily perceived as independent travel places, and so I'm going to go there and just see what it's like.
Welcome to Luxor, welcome to Luxor.
But honestly, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know how easy or challenging it's going to be. I don't know what kind of people I'm going to meet, whether it'll be any kind of culture shock or whether there's any kind of backpacking scene there at all. But I guess the only thing to do is get on with it and find out. My journey began with a 4.5-hour flight from London down to Cairo, and to keep things simple, I'd arranged an airport pickup through the hostel. Right, so I've just arrived in Dahab Hostel, which had a few people recommend to me. It looks like a really cool hostel, good chill out area. But the weird thing is this hostel doesn't have dorms, it's all private rooms. So I'm in this little echoey room right here. But landing in Cairo, I was greeted with the news that a terrorist attack happened here today. A bomb went off and exploded a tourist bus right near the pyramids. I think it killed like 3 people. So that's not like the most comforting news to be greeted with when you land. At the same time, we get terrorist attacks in London, so you just get on with it. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow, get my bearings, hopefully start meeting some people, and then yeah, the Egyptian adventure begins from there, I guess. Cairo is the capital of Egypt with a population of over 19 million people and is one of the most densely populated cities in the world. So yeah, it's busy, crowded, loud and polluted, but there's a lot of amazing things to see here, and I'm starting with the downtown area where my hostel is based. Alright, welcome to noisy Cairo. Right there's the River Nile. Pretty awesome to finally see it. Doesn't look very spectacular on a cloudy day like this, but in a few days time we'll be cruising down an overnight cruise and it should look awesome. What I'm going to do for my first day is head over to the Egypt Museum, because before I see all these pyramids and stuff, I want to actually learn a bit about the history so I actually know what I'm looking at. The Egyptian Museum is a very popular spot with tourists, and it's home to over 120,000 antiquities from ancient Egypt. A lot of these items were recovered from many of the temples and tombs I'll be visiting later on my trip. Now, if you're like me, you might have learned a bit about ancient Egypt when you were a kid at school, but have since then forgotten most of what you learned, and now you only ever hear about it through fun and entertaining movies. So, the time of ancient Egypt began over 5,000 years ago and lasted for around 3,000 years until it fell to the Roman Empire in 30 BC.
One of the reasons it was such a successful civilization is because of the agriculture that built up around the Nile, which was pretty much the only water source in the desert. And through its predictable flooding cycles and controlled irrigation of the fertile valley, it supported a dense population, allowing social development and culture. Now, ancient Egypt can be broken into 3 distinct periods of the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms, which are separated by the intermediate periods of relative instability. It was during the Old Kingdom that the pyramids were built, but the New Kingdom had most of the famous pharaohs you might have heard of. Pharaohs were the monarchs of ancient Egypt, and one of their roles was to be an intermediary between the gods and the people, meaning they were basically treated like gods themselves. Now, the Egyptian Museum is full of the tombs, shrines, and even some of the mummies of the pharaohs, but you're not allowed to film or take photos in the main attractions there, which are the rooms dedicated to Tutankhamun and the royal mummies.
Today I've just been to the museum, which is over there. That was good to sort of brush up my history. But tomorrow I'm doing a tour of all the pyramids, so that's when we get to see some of the classic iconic stuff. Now, if you just want to do the Great Pyramids, like the Giza Pyramids, you can just get the metro there and just buy a ticket when you get there. I didn't just want to do the Giza Pyramids, I wanted to see the Dashur ones and the Saqqara ones. And with the hostel, they organise a tour just to go and see them all in one day. So it's like, perfect, job done. Should be pretty cool. I don't know if anyone else has signed up for the tour yet, so it might be a little private tour I have today. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be some other people on it. But this is cool. This is exciting. I mean, the pyramids are something you learn about when you're a kid. You're thinking one day you'll go there. Today's that day.
Well, I was the only one who signed up for the tour that day, but the upside was I basically had a private guide to take me to the pyramids.
It's my guide for the day.
The first site we went to was Dashur, and right ahead of us here is the Red Pyramid. It was the first successfully constructed smooth pyramid, completed roughly around 2600 BC by King Sneferu. This was his second attempt at building a smooth pyramid, after the first one failed, which is now known as the Bent Pyramid.
See the bent one?
Yeah.
Because it's a mistake. He tried to fix it, but he can't.
He failed.
He failed, yeah.
Right, I've made it to my first pyramid. So this first one, Dashur, gonna go up there and actually get to go inside this one, which is pretty cool. Climbing up my first ever pyramid. Climbing up the pyramid at the start was fine, but then when you go down, it was bloody hard work because you sort of have to crouch down and then squat down going down these steps in the dark. Going down, climb up some stairs to another chamber, I guess. I'm guessing this is the center of the pyramid, maybe? But yeah, all the treasures that used to be in here, all the tombs and stuff, they're all in the Egyptian Museum because they belong in a museum. So yeah, no treasures left to find in here, but it's still incredible to actually be inside a pyramid in Egypt. Alright, that was one hell of a workout going in that pyramid. Yeah, so my legs are absolutely killing. But it's good, it's good. It's definitely worth it because you're inside a pyramid. How cool is that?
The next site we were heading to was Saqqara, which features the Step Pyramid, which was built in the 27th century BC, making it the oldest of all the pyramids and the oldest complete stone complex known in the world.
This is the oldest one from King Djoser. And the architecture I told you, Imhotep.
Imhotep.
And Imhotep became pharaoh later.
Yeah. The guide that I had also, I mean, he was really informative about the sites. So when we got to each pyramid, he'd teach me what I need to know about the places, the history, but he then just drops you off and you're there by yourself. So if I was doing this all again, I would definitely have a guided tour around the temples, just so I knew what I was looking at whilst I'm inside. And eventually in one of the tombs, this guy started trying to explain stuff, and I was like, oh, go on then, I'll give him a tip, it'd be good to get some more information, but then I couldn't understand anything he was saying. Bless him, like his English wasn't great, and even the stuff I could understand, I didn't really know what he was talking about. At this one, there was a lot more sort of touts around, like guys just trying to sell you stuff and wanting to take your photo, and they just keep following you around, and it gets a bit annoying after a while.
Don't be afraid.
Sorry?
Don't be worried. If you want a picture for you, I'll take a picture for you.
I'm filming, mate. I'm filming.
I take a film, I know.
Phrase you want to learn when you walk around here is Lass Shukran, which means no thank you. So we just pulled over to get kushari, local dish to have along the way.
It's macaroni, pasta, hummus, onion, tomato sauce, spaghetti, everything.
Heading to Giza now. Yeah, I can give this a
Before
try.
Giza, I show you the ancient paper of Egypt.
Ah, cool.
Papyrus, how to make the ancient paper of Egypt in ancient time.
Yeah,
And then we'll go to, after this, to Giza.
perfect. Well, how's the man looking after us?
We make the paper from blend. Then we remove the green cover. We cut into slices. To remove water, we use the rolling pin. After that, we put the slices in water 60 days. Then we put the slices vertical and horizontal. Under press, we will get a sheet of paper like this. This is the first paper in man history that pharaohs used it to spray their civilization all over the world.
When it came time to go to Giza, Mossad was like, you know, in order for you to see everything in time, the best way to get around is on a camel. I didn't sign up to go on a camel ride. I didn't really want to go on a camel ride. I wanted to just walk around by myself. But before I knew it, we parked up and everyone's around you. They were like, oh, it's the only way to see it. It's the best way to see it. You won't get all the touts trying to come after you. And you just get to the point like, all right, fine, let's just do it. Sometimes you find yourself like in situations where you end up just saying yes just to save all the arguments and all the hassle. Because if you say no at some of these times, they'll just keep going, like going at you and hassling you and hassling you.
What's your name?
Carl.
Carl, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I mean, those camels as well, God knows how well they look after them. I'm guessing it's not great. And it's weird because it's kind of hard to explain, because people like to say, well, if you didn't want to do it, why didn't you just say no? But when you're in that situation, when you're by yourself with just your guide and all the other guides around you, and they're kind of pressuring you, you get to the point where you're just like, all right, fine, let's just do it. Just take the money. I just want to enjoy the pyramids. I've been looking forward to this for so long. Let's just do it.
The Great Pyramids were built a couple of decades after Dashur, and they are the oldest and only remaining ancient wonder of the world. Like the other pyramids, they were built to safely guard the tombs of pharaohs, along with many of their possessions the Egyptians believed they would need in the afterlife.
Right, so we've made it to Giza. But yeah, got kitted up, headgear on, stopped here to do our Instagram poses. Smashed them, I'd say. So there's 9 pyramids, Giza. We've got 3 small ones over here, 3 small ones over there, and then 3 big ones behind me. Now, most people think this is the tallest one, but that's not the tallest one. The tallest one's over there, because this one's just closer and higher on the rock. Anyway, let's meet our guide. How you doing, man?
Hello, sir.
What's your name?
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long you been doing this for?
Me? I work here like 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice job to have.
Yeah, I like. Yeah.
You
I'll
pick-
ask all the body you come in Egypt.
Yeah.
This is the Pyramid of Khafre with the smooth tip, which is actually what the outer surface of all 3 pyramids would have originally been like before the material was robbed over the years to build other structures.
Wow, this is awesome to actually finally be here. This is really incredible. I'm glad we saved this to the end of the day, actually. It's just spectacular. Okay, so the Sphinx here, basically it took 100,000 people to build the pyramids. And then when they finished building them, the king killed all of them because he didn't want the secrets of how they made it to get out. So the Sphinx here and this whole burial site was for all the workers who built these pyramids. But yeah, people always talk about the pyramids sort of being surrounded by pizza and McDonald's. It's not true. I mean, yeah, you got the town just here, but everything else is just desert. So I think people get a bit carried away with that. I absolutely loved it. It was so impressive. But then the whole thing, the camel ride cost 660 Egyptian pounds, which is like $37, which is more than I paid for just the tour for the day. And when I got back to the hostel and I told them how much I paid for that, they just laughed in my face and went, mate, you should have paid 100 max for that. So I got completely ripped off. And it was kind of annoying because, you know, my guide Mossad had been so nice all day and got on great with him. And he'd given me tips of how to avoid the scams and the touts at the other sites, and what I should pay for and what I shouldn't, and all these different things. So I kind of, he'd kind of earned my trust during the day, so when he sort of said do the camel thing, it's the best way to do it, I kind of trusted him, and then it turns out I got completely ripped off. Oh well, lesson learned, just have to up my game for the rest of the trip now, I guess. So this is the crazy lift. You have to get up to the hostel, and it's a bit unnerving. You feel like your life might be over before the trip's even begun. So let's give it a go. That evening I just did the standard hostel thing of hanging out in a common area by the reception, and then before we knew it we had a group of us hanging out together having beers, and then some of us, including the staff, all crammed into a taxi and headed out to a jazz club. First proper evening in Egypt, and we've got... Good start. We got 4 of us in the back of a cab. I'm comfy. I'm super comfy. Are you comfy?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's too bad.
The next day, I went to explore Islamic Cairo, which is the name given to the core of the medieval part of town. Now, Islamic Cairo is not more or less Islamic than the rest of the city, but it does have Cairo's highest concentration of famous Islamic monuments. This includes the City Dal, which was the centre of Egyptian government until the 19th century.
Before I'd even filmed myself at all today, I was just getting shots walking around. Some guy came up to me and started just sort of telling me where to go and giving me some information, and like at first you're thinking, alright, he's gonna want some money at the end of this, but I was like, screw it, I'm by myself, let's just play this one out and see what happens. He was a very friendly guy, really sweet guy, but then the highlight was he took me to the mosque, which other tourists don't go into, or at least that's what I was led to believe. There was no one else in there, you had to get his mate to unlock it. The building was completely empty. Went up to this tower of the mosque right to the top. So we're gonna go up there to get the ultimate view of Cairo. The last couple of steps he said, right, close your eyes, hold his hand, and we walked out, and then whew, Cairo was right in front of me, and it was incredible. Just been wandering through Cairo. This guy's just led me up to the top of a mosque for the best view of Cairo you could possibly ask for.
Welcome.
Shukran.
Speak Arabic.
Yeah. Tell everybody your name.
My name is Khalid, and I speak all people welcome to Cairo. Cairo is very safe and very enjoy.
Perfect. So over there's the City Dal.
Sultan Hassan.
Then just in the distance over there are the pyramids of Giza, the Great Pyramid, right on the horizon. So this is pretty incredible. Shows you what random things can happen when you're wandering around these towns. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. After that we headed back down, and then he took me to see another mosque which is known as the Blue Mosque.
This is a tomb of Ibrahim Agha. You can see here 1,000 style of blue. All this is blue handmade, no machine, no computer, no laser. Not body here, body underground. Here's the door.
Yeah.
Open the door. What is the body underground? The head direction to Mecca. Okay. This is to Mihrab to Mecca. And Imam speak to people the Quran.
Yeah.
And here people sit, listen to Imam. This is here stairs.
Yeah.
And this is up here writing in black, writing Muhammad. This is old writing. Muhammad is prophet of God.
Yeah.
After Imam go down, come, you go to the direction to Mecca. For Imam stop here alone, and people out Imam like this, one by one. Imam speak first, Allahu Akbar. And people out Imam listen to Imam and they speak same Imam to speak.
Yeah.
Here all Imam pray, no woman.
Okay.
Woman pray here.
Okay. How they pray over there? You know, I ended up giving him some money at the end because I was like, you know what, that was absolutely worth it. And it was one of those things where I didn't ask him to give me a tour. I didn't really want to spend money, but at the end, that experience and that view was just fantastic, and it made the day, really.
Thank you very much, man. Shukran.
And goodbye.
Yeah.
And it's good, man, for photograph.
Yeah.
It's good video.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Shukran.
And I hope to enjoy.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Shukran.
Bye.
I began making my way back across town, and I went via the Khan El Khalili markets.
20 pound, 20 pound. Hey, my friend, 1 pound, 1 pound.
This was great to experience, but it was insanely crowded, and after a long day of walking around, I was like, yeah, okay, get me back to the hostel.
Like the hostel here, it's like a normal hostel. You make friends straight away. I've just been unfortunate in that during the day, the activities I've done haven't been in sync with other people. So I've always been by myself during the day. But every evening, we've all been hanging out, making friends, and having a good time. And so tonight's New Year's Eve, and so I think we're gonna have a good party.
Okay, so it's New Year's Eve in Cairo, and what better way to celebrate it than coming to an empty Greek restaurant that looks...
Look at this.
Oh, there's some other people here.
Yeah.
It's pretty
It's
empty.
empty.
It's pretty empty. That looks like it's dressed for a Christmas corporate party that no one showed up to. But you know, you're just gonna go with the flow. But you're saying you're Greek. How the fuck are you Greek?
I'm not sure yet.
You're working on it.
But maybe I have a kind of like Greek blood in my DNA or something.
You said
My,
you're Greek.
my name is Greek. Irini means peace in Greek.
Okay.
And I have a Greek tattoo here.
Dan, you got anything Greek about you?
I do have some Greek blood, and I know about souvlaki. I know about the ouzo.
I know the Greek salad.
Okay. Cool. You got anything Greek to add to this?
No, but I like Greek potato. And no, man, I'm Canadian, so like I'm French, Irish, and German. So like,
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing here, but
Sean?
Greek mythology. That's pretty solid. That's about it. That's all I got.
So this is New Year's Eve, Cairo. We'll have the Greek food. There's gonna be Greek food.
Yeah.
Okay. And beer.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're leaving the Greek funeral to go to the square and see if we can find some more fun for New Year's Eve. What's the time? What's the time?
20 minutes to the big thing.
It's 20 minutes to New Year's Eve. We're gonna try and get to the square in time. It's a 5-minute walk. Can we do it?
Fuck yes, we can.
The clock is ticking. It's not that way.
Okay, that way, that way.
Now we're on an adventure. Better now.
I'm so happy and proud to be with you guys here, you know, instead of the funeral Greek thing over there.
I have no idea what's going to happen at midnight. There's going to be fireworks, countdown, maybe nothing, but at least we're amongst it, and it just feels great to be here. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
It's so cool. The people are so friendly here. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Where's the countdown?
Megan?
It's midnight!
Oh, it is midnight!
was time for me to leave Cairo and get the overnight train down to Aswan, which I nearly missed, not because I was late, but because they never gave the platform number on the departure board.
How hard is it to update the timetable in the train station? And as I get on the platform, I'm still not sure if it's my train. The train starts moving to leave. And luckily the doors were still open, so I just shouted at people who were on the train, Aswan? And they went, yeah. So I just jumped on at the last minute. Just made it. Let's go to Aswan.
It's about a 13-hour journey down to Aswan, and after getting a little bit of sleep, I woke up to the sun rising through the palm trees.
Right, head to Aswan.
There's no hostels in Aswan, so I booked myself into a guest house on Elephantine Island in the middle of the Nile.
That's what I'm staying by here. This place is absolutely gorgeous. Lovely spot right on the Nile. There's a beautiful terrace we can hang out on here. Rooms are really good. And as soon as I got here, Amin, who runs the place, he sorted me out with a bus ticket to Abu Simbel tomorrow, and also my cruise for the next 2 days down the Nile. So in terms of logistics, solo traveling around Egypt's been pretty simple so far. It's like anywhere else, just easy to travel around. Everywhere you can go, you can book up the activities you want straight away. In terms of the social scene, still yet to decide, but met this Brazilian couple, Tiago and Maria, staying in the guest house here with me, and right now we're going to get a fluka, old traditional boat, and go cruise around the Nile for sunsets. That's what we're going to do right now. Well, it's safe to say this is the most relaxed I've been on the trip so far, which isn't saying much because all I've done is Cairo and it's not relaxing there at all. It's really intense, but now we're here, it's like finally on holiday, just cruising on the Nile. So peaceful. Got Tiago and Maria here from Brazil joining in. They're coming on the tour tomorrow.
Cheers.
I'll pan to them in a second. Oh yeah. Cheers.
Ask him how he plays.
You can give us some Brazilian samba.
Brazilian samba,
Looking good, man. Looking majestic. What's your name?
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Me too, thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from England.
Yeah.
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil, brigada.
De nada.
Nada. You're welcome. This is the first time in Aswan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Really?
We arrived just today, this morning. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's a free ride.
How are you?
So calm. So relaxing. I could spend all day on this boat. All day.
After a perfect sunset, we didn't stay up much later that evening because the next morning we had a ridiculously early start.
It is 4 a.m. and we're up bright and early to head to Abu Simbel, which some people say is their favourite temple in all of Egypt, so I think it's going to be worth it. But yeah, very early start today to get our boat, to get a 3-hour bus out into the desert. Alright, we're just waiting for our minivan slash bus to pick us up and take us to the ruins. I presume we're not going in the Ghostbusters car right here, although that would be very cool.
Turns out the Ghostbuster car was a taxi to take us to our bus. And this bus didn't have any heating or AC, so it was freezing cold at this time of the morning. Anyway, it's about a 4-hour journey through the desert to Abu Simbel, which lies on the bank of Lake Nasser near the border of Sudan.
Okay, so like a lot of places in Egypt, you pay for your tour to here, but that doesn't actually get you the entrance ticket, so you got to buy an entrance ticket. But not only is there an entrance ticket, you got to pay for photography as well, which is like an extra $18.
Abu Simbel is comprised of 2 massive rock temples built under the reign of Ramses II during the 13th century BC. He built them to show off the might of the Egyptian kingdom to the Nubian people whom he'd had difficulty putting under Egyptian control. The 4 statues of Ramses were carved straight out of the rock, one of which was damaged in an earthquake shortly after construction. With the passage of time, the temple stopped being used and eventually became covered by sand, until they were rediscovered over 3,000 years after they were built in 1813 AD.
Okay, it's very cold, it's very windy, it's very crowded, but that is damn impressive. This is one of the places I really wanted to go to in Egypt, just to see these up close, and it doesn't disappoint, they're really spectacular. Fun fact is though, they used to be further that way. In the 60s when they built the dam, they had to do this massive UNESCO project to basically get the entire temple and move it inland. So it's not actually its original position.
Inside the temple, the walls are covered in bas-reliefs depicting battle scenes from the king's military campaigns.
It's just insane being in here. Like every single wall is covered in the artwork, every single inch of the wall. It's just incredible. You like it, guys?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's just wow.
It's incredible.
I have no words even to describe it. It's so exciting just to be here.
Because we had the guide outside explaining what the bits of artwork were, but you didn't really know what bit he was referring to yet, so it was just like a list of images, so it was kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. So it would have been good to have a guide to come round and go, right, this bit means that bit means that.
If we had a guide, he was probably going to say that here, like Ramses is doing worship with Horus, and in the other room they're holding hands like equals, because then he was a demigod.
Yeah, if you want to take photos in here, definitely buy the photography ticket, because there's a guy going around making sure you've got your ticket. Yeah. If you don't have the ticket, it'll ask you to delete the photos. You can spend a day in here looking at all the different pictures and different bits.
Even more exciting to know that they moved all those things here. It's incredible.
It's still unbelievable. Definitely one of the best things we've seen so far in Egypt.
This main temple is known as the Great Temple, dedicated to Ramses himself, but the other small temple is dedicated to his chief wife, Queen Nefertari.
Well, Abu Simbel, it may be a long drive to get here. You may not have very long here and it may be crowded, but it's still 100% worth it. If you've come to Egypt to see ancient Egypt, this is the best sight I've seen so far by a long way. Like the pyramids are great, but this is something else. So yeah, definitely worth the long drive.
Before we knew it, we were back on the bus, which was now boiling hot, and we made our way back to Aswan.
We got straight off the bus and we were starving hungry, so we came across here for some food, which I didn't film because I was too hungry and too busy eating. Lovely little restaurant, and now it's nearly only an hour away from sunset. How was dinner, guys? What is this musical? What do you call it?
It's a pain in the elbow if you translate like literally to this style of Brazilian music.
Yeah, why is it called pain in the elbow?
You come on, dance.
You dance like this?
You have your hand in the elbow.
Yeah. You do like this.
Maria and Diago, I've been lucky to meet them really. They've really made the last 2 days really good.
I could have happily spent longer in Aswan, because there's a lot more to see than I did, but it was time to move on to the next leg of my trip.
Now, I'm about to get on a 2-day cruise boat up the Nile to Luxor, which I can't wait for. I'm super excited about this, but I literally have no idea what to expect because Armin's booked the boat for me, but I have no idea what it's going to be like, you know? I mean, I saw a price online for like $300 for it, and I'm paying $65, so I don't know if the website's a rip-off or whether I've got a really good deal or whether I got a shit boat or a good boat. I have no idea what to expect. So I'm sort of setting my expectations at it being awful so that anything after that's a surprise. Thank you, Armin. Thank you so much. So Armin dropped me off with a taxi driver and a guide. Then I got in a taxi and the two of them started having this outrageous argument. No idea what it was about. Sounds a bit unnerving. I was like, right, what am I getting myself into here? Then we get dropped off and I saw the boat. This'll do. Wasn't expecting this. I was like, oh, jackpot. Okay, so I've just been shown to my room and it's amazing. Got got my own double bed, couch, TV, a lovely shower room. I'll eventually have an amazing view of the Nile out that window once we get going. Right now it's a view of another boat. It's gorgeous. We got a table tennis here. We got a running machine so I can do some exercise. There's a swimming pool over there. It did dawn on me when I went up to the swimming pool. It's like, wow, I must be getting older if I found myself on a cruise ship, like with a swimming pool, lots of old people sunbathing. It was $65 per night. Once you factor in the fact that you get all your meals included and the tours of the temples, it's actually a bargain. You get to see everything between Aswan and Luxor. You get to cruise along the Nile and you get to have a bit of luxury. So it's not like I'm splashing out massively in the middle of like a backpacking trip. This is just what you can get for a little bit extra cash in Egypt.
Of course, what I didn't realise was the boat didn't leave Aswan till 3 AM in the morning. I was told I had to be on board by midday. So I basically spent the day chilling out, then eventually went to bed, and then when I woke up, the boat had already made it to our first temple.
Alright, good morning from the Nile cruise. It's nearly 6 AM, woken up to go to our first temple. So we're going to get like some juice and reception and go check that out. And hopefully then, after that first temple, we'll actually get to see some cruising along the Nile on this Nile cruise.
Kom Ombo Temple is a lot newer than the other temples I'd seen, as it was built during the Ptolemaic dynasty. The southern half of the temple is dedicated to the crocodile god Sobek, the god of fertility, and the northern half is dedicated to the falcon god Horus. But the problem I had again was, I didn't know any of this when I was actually there.
It's one of those places that's really beautiful and really impressive, but we don't have a guide and there's no information anywhere, so don't really know what we're looking at. So I think a top tip for Egypt is do some reading beforehand so you actually know what you're looking at. But it's a cool temple, really like it, really good one to stop at. You know, getting up early in the morning, you're like, oh, I can't be bothered, but now we're here. This is very impressive. We're literally traveling a massive convoy of cruise ships down the Nile. Everyone just gets off at the same spot, sees the sights, gets back on, keeps cruising down.
Back on the boat, I filled myself up at the massive breakfast buffet as the boat continued downstream to the next temple.
Alright, just got back from breakfast and now we're cruising along the Nile. This is the view out my room, which is pretty sweet. This is what I wanted. It's like it's rush hour here on the Nile. Endless cruise boats going past. Cleaner came in, Mohammed, who's a really nice guy, but he was like, are you not married? I was like, no, single, mate. So I don't know if he felt sorry for me, but he's made me this lovely little swan heart-shaped kind of thing with the towels on my bed. Oh, thanks, Mohammed. I guess we're at our next stop for the next temple. The temple this morning was fantastic, so I'm curious to see what this one's like as well. Made it to Edfu Temple. Our boat was going super fast, so we've actually beaten all the crowds here, which is sweet. It's like a rare treat in Egypt to have a temple to yourselves.
The Temple of Edfu was also built during the Ptolemaic Kingdom between 237 and 57 BC. The temple was dedicated to the falcon deity Horus, who was the god of kingship and the sky. Edfu Temple fell into disuse during the Roman Empire and was gradually buried up to 12 meters deep in drifting desert sand, which actually preserved the temple in fantastic condition. It wasn't until 1860 AD when a French Egyptologist began freeing Edfu from the sands.
I'm not gonna lie, this bit does look like Moria. All the giant columns. And even this shaft of light coming down here. Ballenstorm. It just keeps going on, like, and just keep exploring around, discovering different rooms, Different corridors. I wish I had like a torch, you know, like a wooden stick with a flame on the end, like old school torch. Then I feel really like Indiana Jones. There's like so many different little corridors. It actually feels like you're discovering it for yourself. Even obviously millions of tourists have been here before, but yeah. This is kind of what I imagined Egypt to be like, you know. Feel like you're on your little Indiana Jones mission, even though you're not. Don't even know where this leads. Ah, nowhere. Dead end. Shame. Would have been a nice view out there. Well, Edfu Temple gets top marks from me. I think exterior-wise, Abu Simbel is still my favourite, but in terms of the interior, this is the best one I've done. It was just fun. So the only thing left to do now is leave the place, which means going through the gauntlet of touts just outside the entrance. At least they're not allowed inside like a Giza, so they're doing it right here.
Don't need to buy anything. Thank you. No. I'm fine, thank you. Hello.
Sure.
I'm fine.
Price, $1.
I'm fine, thank you.
Wasn't too bad actually, just walked straight through them. So after the temple we got back on the boat and had lunch. Food here's been incredible, it's a massive buffet. And the nice thing about the meals as well is you're always sitting at the same table with the same people, so yeah, it gives you people to chat to and stuff and catch up with. And then everyone kind of does their separate thing, but at least you know, I'm not completely by myself the entire time. But I hope you're ready for some real first world problems right now, because the plan for the rest of the day is we're just going to cruise on a boat. That's it, and then we get to Luxor at night or something, but we'll basically get off the boat in the morning, which is great. And the sun's shining and it's warm outside, but because it's winter, the wind's blowing really fast on the river, so you can't sunbathe. It's just too cold up on the sun deck. So I said I'm just going to have to sit in my own private room on the couch here and just watch the Nile go past from here. Fuck my life. But it's cool, yeah, I'm just gonna take it easy and relax. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day exploring Luxor, and then I'll get to a hostel and start hopefully meeting some more people to hang out with, which would be nice. But in the meantime, I can keep myself entertained. Oh, boom. So the boats just have to slow down to go through this gap in what I guess is a dam here. And so you got all these boats here trying to sell, like, you know, cloths and souvenirs to us. So they're just literally throwing them up to people so they can check them out. And if you don't want it, throw it back. And if you do want it, I guess you throw money down. Although I don't know what's to stop us just from catching it and going, cheers mate, see you later.
Any money.
I'll do it.
No, stop.
So, turns out that this is a canal. Didn't even know they had canals on the Nile River, but yeah, there's a massive canal here. So we've got two of the cruise boats in the canal, and now they're just lowering the water so we can get through to the next part of the river. Pretty cool. Not something I expected to see on this trip, but there you go.
8 meters.
8 meters down.
8 meters.
This is the maximum they can go. 8
Maximum.
meters. Yeah.
Maximum,
Usually 6 meters, as I told you, you know.
Yeah. Straight in with the sails. It's been really nice to cruise. So the boat's been incredible, like absolute luxury, which has been a real treat.
Arriving in Luxor, I was going to have 2 days here before I head to the Red Sea for my last few nights in Egypt. So first thing in the morning, I checked out from the boat and was straight into a local minivan to take a few of us round Luxor's temples. Now, the town of Luxor is on the east bank of the Nile, which in ancient Egypt was the side that the people lived on. But first, we were heading to the west bank, which is where people went when they died, and this side includes the famous burial site of the Valley of the Kings. First up though, we visited the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut, which was built during her reign from 1478 to 1458 BC. Hatshepsut understood that she needed to establish her authority and the legitimacy of her reign in much more obvious ways than her predecessors, and this is evident through the scale and elegance of her temple.
Previous places I was saying, oh, it's a shame we don't have a guide to actually explain what we're looking at. Today we've got one. We've got a guy called Rashim, and he's really nice and he really knows his stuff.
This temple is dating back to Hatshepsut. This one is have like a traditional design.
But the only problem is I've gone from having not enough information to too much, because he goes into so much detail and there's so much to take in. It's quite overwhelming.
Traditional design is going to be like the first pylon and a second open court, and later second pylon, and after that small court, and there is hypostyle hall, smaller hypostyle hall, vestibule, and then going to the sanctuary or the holy of the holies. Okay? Okay.
It's quite hard to keep up actually with like what's what, which god, which queen, what's going on. And I know that sounds like I'm complaining either way, but it'd be good to have like a happy medium where it's like, let's say hypothetically I'm not an expert on ancient Egypt. Explain it to me now, you know? Other countries you can go to and just learn about history whilst you're there, but I think for Egypt it'd be good to actually learn some stuff before you come here, so then all the stuff you've been told about has a bit more context.
Next up was the Valley of the Kings, where for 500 years tombs were excavated for the pharaohs and powerful nobles of the New Kingdom. The site contains at least 63 different tombs, but we only had time to visit 3 of them, the first of which was for Ramses IV.
Inside our first tomb in the Valley of the Kings, pretty spectacular. Yeah, that first one it took me by surprise. But these places are so impressive. I thought it'd just be like going in when you're in the pyramids, which is a bit plain, but so much decoration, so much colour.
The second tomb was for Meneptah, who was the 13th son of Ramses II.
Ramses II ruling Egypt for 67 years. Okay, so he have a lot of sons. He have 79 sons and 59 daughters. Okay,
so 79?
79 sons.
Jesus.
And 59 daughters.
How many wives?
A lot.
Okay,
you can say they didn't count his wives.
Okay, we're entering into our second tomb. This one goes 100 meters down because basically the king lived a lot longer than he thought he would, so kept just building it deeper and deeper and deeper. This one's more impressive just because of the sheer scale of it. 100 meters down, the tomb down there was huge. Curious to see what the third one's like we're going to see. I think we might have saved the best till last in here. The level of detail that was still around is incredible. Come from England.
Good people, England. Good football.
Good like Mo Salah?
Come in the best one here.
I've just been down, yeah.
Best one.
The best one?
Yeah.
Yeah? The shutter speed of the camera doesn't like the lights in here, that's why you can have all this flickering, but I've come into this different room. This guy's just let me in here. Pretty sure he's gonna want some cash, but... They do have Tutankhamun's tomb here as well, but that costs 1,000 Egyptian pounds to go in, so I think we're gonna skip that one, just stick with the 3 that we're doing.
Next up, we went to explore Habu Temple and then got a very late lunch before getting the boat back across to the East Bank.
Hey George.
There's 2 more temples on our tour, the first of which is the Karnak Temple complex. The key difference with Karnak is the length of time over which it was developed and used. Construction of temples started in the Middle Kingdom and continued all the way into the Ptolemaic times. Approximately 30 pharaohs contributed to the buildings, enabling it to reach a size, complexity and diversity not seen elsewhere.
Well, another one that just takes your breath away. It's been a very tiring day, so like I've been saying, you come to a temple like, all right, another one, but then as soon as you walk in, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what the fuss is about. It's just incredible, just the scale of it. And like, even though it's super busy, you can actually just take a little left and right turn, and now it's nice and quiet, just got it to yourself. But yeah, this is what we're walking through.
We finished up at Luxor Temple and it was great to see it lit up at night, but by then we're all pretty shattered because it's been a very long day. I mean, it was a fantastic day, but in hindsight it would have been better to just done the West Bank in one day and save the East Bank for another day and done that by myself. But the deceptive thing with these tours is like, you know, you've paid your $10 US for the guide to take you around all day. That seems like a bargain, but then you've got to pay the entrance fee for each of these temples as well. And then if you want to film or take photos of these sites, you've got to buy a ticket for that. That costs like an extra £300, and suddenly your costs start adding up. It ends up being quite an expensive day. I mean, it's worth it. The stuff you see is mind-blowing and it's what you've come to Egypt to see. But for what seemed like a very cheap day at the start can actually cost you quite a bit of money. And then I got to my hostel. They've actually got a hostel here in Luxor called the Bob Marley Peace Hostel. And now I paid for a dorm room because it's so quiet here. They've chucked me in a private room anyway, which is pretty sweet. Of course, the drawback to that is because there's barely anyone here, it is a bit dead.
I've got one more day in Luxor before I head to the Red Sea. And after such a hectic first day, I decided to spend my second by just taking it easy exploring the town.
Just trying to walk around town, take it in, take some pictures, and you can't go 5 seconds without someone coming up to you, just be like, oh, do you want to buy a horse, do you want to buy this, do you want to go do this, do you want to do that? And after a while, it's just like, oh, just let me just walk around and take it in.
So I went for a breather in a restaurant, and by pure luck, I bumped into the group that was on my tour yesterday.
Having a nice rest?
Hey, hello, hello.
Hello, hi. Getting some, what do you call this again?
Fatira.
Fatira, Egyptian dish. Lovely view of the Nile without being hassled by people every 2 seconds, which is always nice. Well, after bumping into the gang at the restaurant, now go for a little explore around the local bazaar. As soon as you say you're from England here, everyone starts talking to you about Mo Salah. You like Mo Salah?
Yes, of course. He's a power.
They love Mo Salah here. He's a king. He's a god.
Open, madam, no problem. Open.
The girls have actually gone into the shop, so it's going to be a while before they'll make it out again. Once they get you inside, you're done.
Touch everybody. Why should touch? I know what you to buy.
Okay.
I'm looking for you, maybe my shop.
Cool.
Yeah, I give a special price.
Despite my best efforts, I still got dragged into the shop, but didn't buy anything. It's all lovely, but don't need it. Fuck it, just buy something.
I love it.
Paprika. What is this? Korean?
Coriander. Ça c'est le carcadet. Non, le vert ça c'est quelque chose du soupe de mouloukhia. La soupe de mouloukhia, ouais.
Nice.
Oh my God, good. I guess look, hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Very good.
Welcome to Luxor. Welcome to Luxor.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Mama.
Well, that was pretty relaxing actually for a bazaar. Very nice. It's my last sunset on the Nile before I head to the Red Sea. It's a bloody good one to end on. I'm gonna miss this.
My plan for the Red Sea was to have 3 nights in Sharm el-Sheikh, then a few nights in Dahab, so I can compare and contrast the resort town with the backpacker town. However, the ferry from Hurghada to Sharm wasn't running anymore, and I've been told the bus takes anywhere between 13 to 25 hours to get around there. But there is a cheap flight that runs once a week, so my plan is to spend a couple of nights in Hurghada before hopping over to the other side of the Red Sea. So step 1 was get the bus out of Luxor.
Very, very simple to book this. I booked it online, showed up, they had my ticket in the bus, 5 hours, get there, looks nice and comfy, so yeah, easy travel. So I decided to move my whole plan of checking out the resort side of things forward a couple of days for my time here in Hurghada. And this place only costs $40 US a night. So it's $40 US for a private room, all meals, all drink, including alcohol, and you get to stay in a gorgeous place like this on the Red Sea. This is right on the beach, so that the sea comes right into the resort.
So today, heading out onto the Red Sea to go and do some intro dives. Everyone raves about the Red Sea, says it's one of the best places to dive and snorkel in the world. I did my PADI 12 years ago, but haven't really dived since, except for one intro dive I did in the summer on the Barrier Reef. So even though I'm qualified, I thought I'd do an intro dive. It's like a refresher, get my confidence back. So I'm just about to do my first dive. Always feel a little bit apprehensive when you haven't done it for a while, but once I get in, hopefully it'll be alright. Well, I was apprehensive beforehand, but as soon as I got on the water, it all just came back to me. And it was almost a little bit frustrating to be doing an intro dive and having a guy hold your hand as you go around. It's like, nah mate, let me go, I know what I'm doing there. But the reef was just so beautiful and the water was so clear and just stunning corals and so many different kinds of fish. But fortunately for my second dive, the guy was taking photos, so I was actually a bit more free to move around. And that dive was just fantastic. We saw some incredible stuff. We saw a giant Monray, just giant eel. I mean, there was a few of them, but one of them was about 2 meters long, just sort of hanging out by this reef, and so we came right up to it, and that was just insane. It's like something I've never seen before. So yeah, I just came out of the water absolutely buzzing. We did in the afternoon stop at a place called Paradise Island, but because it was so cold and windy, we just kind of sat there for half an hour and went, okay, let's go.
Hands up, please. Okay, everybody come with me this way. Excellent.
But after checking into this hotel, like after an hour, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? You know, this isn't what I've come to Egypt to do. I mean, I'm sitting by myself in a restaurant full of families. I'm sitting by myself in the blandest lobby bar you've ever seen. I'm sitting by myself at the beach. As I was saying, it's all inclusive. The size of the beers they give you are shot glasses. What is this? Beer for ants? Now, obviously these all-inclusive resorts, you know, they're not made for backpackers, but it was so cheap I was like, screw it, I'm going to treat myself. But it's not a place where you're going to meet people, and it's nice when you're traveling to have a bit of quality alone time every now and again. But of course on this trip I've had plenty of alone time as it is already. And I should stress, when I say there's not really a backpacking scene, I'm not looking for like backpacker parties like I had in, you know, Central America or whatever. That's not what I come to Egypt to do. It's just nice to have people to share your experiences with. Like normally when you're solo traveling, you're never really by yourself because you're constantly meeting new people, but that hasn't been the case here in Egypt with trying to backpack it. This is just stupid, I shouldn't be here. You know, I should be out experiencing Egypt rather than shutting a resort like this. Yeah, this sucks. So, yeah. I'm scrapping my Sharm el Sheikh plan. I'm gonna have one night at a resort there just because we're landing in the evening, get there, chill out, and then head to Dahab. Everyone raves about that place, and I should be able to meet plenty of other travelers and locals and just have an amazing last few days in Egypt before I head into Jordan. Yeah, I had my night in Sharm el Sheikh, and it's just a bland, dull resort town. So that afternoon, got on the bus and made my way to Dahab. This is what a taxi ride looks like in Dahab. Back to the pickup truck. It's like we're hitchhiking, except we paid for it. And there's a carpet. There is a carpet. It's quite comfy actually.
And there's no chooks or fish or anything.
Yeah. It's good to finally be here. I'm just having a quick wander around town so we get to know the area. It's got like a nice sort of touristy main street, different bars, cafes, restaurants, lots of dive shops, tourist shops. So I'm just going to get an idea of what's available to do here the next few days and then get some things booked up. But the hostel seems good, so it could be good fun here. I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Once I got settled at the hostel, it didn't take too long to make a group of friends to explore the area with.
So today we're going to the Blue Hole for snorkeling, and we actually have people here. Hello people.
Hello.
Other people.
So we're about to go snorkeling at the famous Blue Hole, which doesn't look very appealing today because the weather's a bit crap. It's a bit cold, but we're going to give it a go. Yeah, let's go. It was huge, like it's a sinkhole, and if you imagine like the edge of the bowl, like snorkeling around there, just unreal. That is without a doubt the most beautiful, epic bit of reef I've ever seen in the entire world. It was insane. It was so, so beautiful. What do you guys think of the reef?
That was incredible, really amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the best snorkeling ever.
Just the sheer scale of it, it's like, it's incredible.
And just the cool, like, the rim of it.
Yeah.
It looks so, like, striking against, like, the sea on both sides. Like,
yeah. I was filming all with my iPhone, that's all I had. So all the footage is just me holding my iPhone, trying not to drop it. The only thing that marred the experience is the bit over there where the current brings all the plastic pollution in. It was disgusting, and all the fish that surround that plastic. It's filled with plastic rubbish. I managed to pick this up with my hand, but so much of it out in like one certain area. Yeah, it's not very well looked after, which is a shame. It's just gorgeous, but it's like you keep seeing on TV and on your social media. Plastic pollution is ruining it. Alright, so after seeing all the plastic pollution at the Blue Hole yesterday, we've been super woke and taken part in a beach cleanup organised by the German bakery here. And Jamie's just gone extra woke. What have you got right here?
Oh, these are jungle straws.
Jungle straws?
Yeah, here you go. It's handmade in Vietnam by a small family-run farm.
Oh, you just say small children.
No. Small family-run farm, yeah. They're bamboo straws, easy replacement to plastic, completely biodegradable.
Nice. What's going on today then? What are we doing?
So we're going to clean up the Laguna Beach. We've got around maybe 60 volunteers. Ralph's German Bakery is sponsoring this along with other businesses in Dahab, and we'll return the favor by cleaning up the city. It's going to be a good day. Lots of volunteers.
What's your name?
Yusuf.
Where are you from?
Egypt.
Nice. You look so happy.
So yeah, we're all going to sweep forward.
Alright, cool. So basically we're gonna start in the desert and just work our way to the lagoon and clear up as much as we can. This shouldn't be too tricky because there's so much rubbish here. Well, that's an easy one.
I don't really like this.
God, there's so much here. I've already filled up so many bags. Yeah, there's still so much here. You having fun, Savannah?
This is fucking horrible. But I hate people. I just ruined my pedicure.
Alright, tell me who you are and what we're doing today.
I'm Mustafa from the American University in Cairo. We're studying the course of Psychology of Sustainable Behavior.
We've been here for a week. We've been trying to raise awareness about the harms of plastic pollution and not living a sustainable life, and how harmful it is for the environment and human health in general.
So this is the problem you get little bits of plastic, breaking into smaller bits of plastic, they get into even smaller bits of plastic that the fish eat, and then we end up eating, so we'll get full of plastic in the end.
We're cleaning here in Laguna Beach in order to reduce the waste and hazard and to make sure that no wind got this waste to the sea.
But it's starting to look a bit cleaner here from the day's efforts. Hey, what have you just found?
8% beer.
Unopened bottle of beer.
Oh my!
It's such a shame having such a beautiful city be contaminated with like waste and plastic. So we're glad. We feel like a lot of people came today, and it's been quite thrilling.
They've already put some in. I presume that's all going to a recycling centre? How's the trash beer?
8%.
It tastes okay?
Is it a good
Gray
like
beer is always good.
vintage of trash? A good terroir.
How's your afternoon going?
This cat just shit on me, so... and now we're friends.
Your friends there, you made up?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've come to the end of my time in Dahab, and therefore the end of my time in Egypt, and Dahab's been exactly what I wanted for the end of this leg of the trip. A really fun little town, nice little community vibe here. And I've had so much fun with the little group of friends that I've made here. You know, we've been trying out different restaurants every night, just hanging out, having a good time. We got involved in the local community with the cleanup and things like that. So it was exactly what I wanted and what was kind of missing from some of the rest of the trip. And the nice thing was today, I went and did my scuba diving. I went for my refresher dive this morning, just in the water right here with H2O divers. Great getting back in the water, just went through the basic exercises, got comfortable. And then we did a guided dive to this place called The Island. And it turned out that was the exact same beach that we cleaned up the day before. So it's kind of like, almost felt a sense of pride of like, wow, we cleaned all this up and now I'm gonna go swimming in it and sort of see, actually get to see the reef that we were protecting. And this reef was unreal. It was just surrounded by this sort of reef garden and all the different fish and different colours. Yeah, people told me the Red Sea was going to be good, but it's not until you get here and actually see it, you realise how good it actually is. It's so beautiful, and it makes you realise how important it is, like the cleanups and things like that are to sort of protect what they've got here. Yeah, Egypt, you know, it's been a mixed bag, you know. I think it's a good example of sort of Instagram versus reality, because people have seen my Instagram pictures and gone like, wow, your trip looks incredible, looks like one of the best ones you've ever done. And it's true, some of the things I've seen and done here have been insane, have been so good. But in between that, sometimes it's been very quiet, it's been a bit lonely, it's been a bit slow, you know. I wanted to see what it's like to solo backpack here, and you know, logistically wise, solo backpack in Egypt's dead easy, but the reality of solo travel in Egypt, it means like you're gonna have a lot of alone time. I've met some really great people along the way here and there, but just overall it has been sort of a lot of stuff by myself. But despite the sort of the quieter moments, it has been good, and you know, the sights you see, the temples you see do not disappoint. They are mind-blowing, they are incredible. The people here have been super friendly.
Welcome to Luxor.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
You know, as a tourist, a lot of the locals you might first come in contact with, the people on the street constantly hassling you, trying to sell you stuff, and it can be a bit intense and annoying. But if you can get past that, the rest of the Egyptians I've met have been so friendly and so welcoming. They've just made it such a comfortable, easy and fantastic experience here.
And I speak all people welcome to Cairo. Cairo is very safe and very enjoyable.
Tomorrow I'm flying to Jordan. Basically everyone I've spoken to here is like, if you like Egypt, you're gonna love Jordan. So I can't wait to see what it's like and see what the next part of the adventure has in store. Welcome to Wadi Rum. That's where I'm staying for the next 3 nights. This is one of the things I've been most looking forward to on the entire trip, so I'm excited. I'm really excited.